Hello, everybody. Guess what? Today is Friday. If you missed our Zoom call last night, then guess what? You missed some good information. Go watch the replay because it's still there. Make sure you tell us you were watching the replay so that we know you're there. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe so that you can see these videos as well as all the other ones on the site as soon as they come on. Now, what are we going to talk about today right after I turn down this defroster because it's only 28 degrees out? Notice I got the coat on, still got my home on there, my favorite number, my D as always, so you guys can see all my patches and whatnot. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is a little bit harsh. Okay, some of you might just shut this off. I don't know. Some of y'all might be like, hey, it doesn't matter to me. Some of you might go, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. But here's what I want to tell you. I'm talking to all my parents. I don't care if you have children under 18, you have grown children over 18, you have grandchildren. Because guess what? If you have grandchildren, that makes you a grandparent. You've already been through one set of parenting, so guess what? The powers that be said, hey, guess what? We need you to get some more practice, so we're going to give you some grandchildren to work with. No, I'm just kidding. That's not exactly how it works. But if you have children in your life, nieces, nephews, cousins that are younger, your kids, your grandchildren, you need to think about one thing. Your kids watch you. Your grandkids watch you. Your nieces and nephews watch you. And when you say things like, oh, don't worry about it, you can be anything you want to be, you can accomplish all your goals, what happens when they respond with, why didn't you do it, Dad? Why didn't you do it, Mom? Why don't you have the big house, Dad? Why don't you have a better job, Mom? Oh no, now we have to answer some tough questions. So think about this. I don't tell my children, me and Sarah do not tell our children, oh, you can have anything you want. Because guess what? You probably can't. Sad fact is you may not get 90% of what you want, 80%, whatever the percentage is. You have to let your kids know that there are times when you have to not get what you want. That doesn't mean you can't ever get it. But guys, we've got to stop lying to our children. We have got to start telling our children, you can get whatever you work for. You can have whatever you put in the work to get. But see, here's the problem. There's a lot of adults out there who are lazy, and they expect that things are going to be given to them just because they want it. I don't care if you want a new house, because guess what? Unless you work hard, keep good credit, and get your money right, you're not getting that new house. You can want it all day long, but if you don't do anything, if you're following that 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the people just sit around and do nothing while 20% do the work, we know who you are. You're not going to get probably anything that you want, let alone everything. Come on. First of all, that's not how the real world is designed. You are not getting everything you want. Granted, would I like to be driving a Lamborghini? Not really, because it's not my thing. I'm not, some people think I'm flashy, but I'm really not. Matter of fact, why do you think all my vehicles are all blacked out? And I haven't gotten tinted yet, but that's coming soon. But the issue is is you're sitting here saying to your children, you can have everything you want, but you don't have everything you want. You may have a nice house, you may have a nice car, you may have a great education, but there's always going to be something that you don't have that you want. And why is that? Because you didn't work for it. I know I told you guys, I warned you before, sometimes these are not going to be all loving and just motivational. Okay? Hey, it's elevation for a reason. We're not putting you down saying you're a bad parent. We're trying to lift you up and say, hey, this is what you need to do to show your kids that this is how things really work. I'm tired of hearing people raising their children in a manner that makes them believe a fairy tale world exists. Guys, they are not going to get the big house just because they want it. They will get the big house because they put in work. They put in sweat. They put in hard labor to get to the place where they are, to get that house that they want. They want a certain vehicle. They got to work to get it. It's hard work keeping good credit. It's hard work making enough money to just hand it away for an object. So stop telling your kids they can have whatever they want. They can have whatever they work for. They can want $1 million. They're not going to get it because they walked into a bank and said, hey, I want $1 million. Normally you go to prison for that. But if they work hard and they can go into the bank and say, here's my $1 million, put it in here until I take it out and make it work for me. If their money is working hard, they're working hard, then they can have whatever they're working for. People think it's just a slight word change. Guess what? It's a mental state. It's a mindset. And if you guys are not watching the mindset training, you really need to go do it. Okay? So here's the thing. If 80 to 90% of you who watch this video, and if you're not in that extra large percentage, then count yourself lucky. 80 to 90% of you don't do the work it takes to get what you want. So stop lying to your children, telling them they can have whatever they want, because you are their role model. You are the person they look at as an example of what they can get. Now, Einstein said it one day that you can retain 30% of what you learn. So let's just round it up and say it's 50 because your kids are smart. Your kids retain 50% of what you can teach them. You can only teach them what you know. If you make $60,000 a year, your kids are destined to make 30. If you live in a 2,000 square foot house, they're destined to live in a 1,000-foot square house. I'm just taking that as an example, guys. So don't think that we're putting you or your children down. This is just science. Okay? Science says 30%. I'm giving them 50. So here's what I'm saying, guys. Put in the work. Get what you want. Get what you need out of life. And then show your kids how to do better than you did. Instill that work ethic in your children. People look at me all the time when I'm on my kids about go clean your room, go make your bed. Your bed has to be made before you go to school. You have to be dressed. Your room has to be cleaned before you go outside. You know, they tell me, oh, you're going like you're still a drill instructor. Yes, because I want my kids to know you're not getting nothing unless you put in the work. Okay, so guys, just keep that in mind. Remember, stop lying to your children. They see what you do. They know what you have. They hear you when you say things aren't good. When they hear you say, you know what, I really wish I had. guess what? That's a clear indicator you're lying to them, because you can't have everything you want. You can't get everything you want unless you work for it. So simply change that one statement and say, son, daughter, niece, nephew, grandchild, you can have whatever you work for. Because guess what? That also covers the fact when they fail a few times and they don't make it, they're going to keep working until they get it. When they get it, it's going to mean more. Remember that, guys. So, as always, it's going to be a great day and something great is going to happen to you. Why? Because it's supposed to. It was your destiny to have the things you want. But it's also your job to work for them. So continue working for them. Have a great day. And just because you don't have it yet, I'm going to give you one little tidbit right before we get out of here. Don't worry about how long it takes you to get and work for what you want. I'm going to give you an example. The founder of KFC was 65 before he opened his first store. Keep that in mind. The time frame that it takes you to get there is only cut short by the time you leave this planet. When you leave this earth, whatever you've accomplished is what you've accomplished. But prior to that, keep working. Push for what you want. Work for what you want, because you can have anything you work for. So until the next time, be the change you want to see. And if you don't have what you want, work harder and start blessing others, and you'll get there just like everybody else. Have a great day, guys.